Well, hi, Steve Sander here, and it's actually fairly late in the evening here in Michigan. It's 9:40 p.m. and it's still light enough to kind of enjoy the night, and I'm sitting here on my deck. I'll give a little view of it toward the end of this video, and I don't really have anything specific to talk about tonight. I'm just finally enjoying just a little bit of peace being out here in the woods. I have this house on a little less than an acre, about 8/10 of an acre, and I can't see any of my neighbors. There's beautiful pine trees and birch trees here. Oh, there's a mosquito. Well, you know, it just can't be perfect now, can it? But I'm enjoying the night here on June 6th. It's a little cool, so I'm wearing a jacket. The first time I came up to the retreat was in June of 1969, and I was with my wife at the time, Barb, and we drove up from the Chicago area, got off on exit 290, Vanderbilt, Michigan, and took a wrong turn. We ended up driving back on the exit, which curved around back about 8 miles south to Gaylord, so we had to double back, come back to Sturgeon Valley Road. 9.5 miles east of Vanderbilt is this piece of property that was owned by J. Oliver Black, and he had this 800 acres of land that he had accumulated over time. At one time, Mr. Black, as we called him, was the largest landowner, largest private landowner in the state of Michigan. So the first time I came up here, I remember getting up that first morning. It was really early, and we were the only guests. And I was up first, and I felt a sense of solitude that I had never felt before. And I looked out over the river, which was actually a lake at the time, and there was a deer with a young doe, very small young doe, and they were both drinking water out of the river, and it was just so calm and peaceful I couldn't believe it. And I come here part of the year, and the other portion of the year I have to kind of rough it, being in Sedona, Arizona. Oh well. Could be worse, right? And I come here in the summer because in the summertime it's always seems to be full of gigs here for as a musician. And some of the past summer, many summers, I've worked through the summer for the 10-week core of the tourist season, 7 days a week, sometimes more than 7 gigs a week. This summer, I guess I'm happy with a little sense of caution that I have very, very few gigs, the fewest maybe I've ever experienced coming to the start of the summer with. So I probably will get more, but I'm just happy to relax. So this is my report tonight. I'm relaxing in my own environment here. As I listen to the sounds, you can hear very little. Just a few birds. Actually, the wind is very calm now, so there's zero wind. And I can see the partial moon up in the sky. And I can enjoy myself sitting out here on the deck. So I'm glad you could join me in this little moment of peace and solitude. My son Chris, who stays with me here at the house, isn't here tonight, so I'm all by myself. So I think every once in a while we all need a little bit of peace and solitude. And I'm not even going to get too deep about it. It's just pretty simple. We're just enjoying ourselves with a little peace and solitude, and I can share it with you. And I'll just give you a little tour of the deck and another little part of my house. And by the end of my 90-day challenge, 90 videos in 90 days, you'll know a lot more probably about the house and And how my summer is going to go, it's a little bit of an adventure. There's an unknown. How many gigs am I going to get this summer? Will I get a lot or a few or none? I do have a few already booked, but I also have my project, online music promotion and sales, and that's due to a course primarily I'm taking with Leah McHenry. That's fantastic. I'm going to be reporting on that, and this is a little Steve time here, and I will before it gets too dark, I'll do a little pan of my deck here and show you what's going on. Thanks. Okay, here's where I was sitting, and you can see that it's a lovely little yard here. There's a moon up there. Yep, you can see the moon through the trees there. And there's my road, Golden Lotus Trail. And here's the deck. It's getting dark, so excuse the light, but that's what it is. Last year I had 5 buckets with various plants in them, tomatoes and peppers. And I still plan to do that. There's still time to plant during the growing season. This is phase 2 of my house building. I'll show you in better light at some point. And here we are on a complete 360 pan. Thanks, everybody. Have a nice evening. To be continued.